Welcome to TIO NTFL Premier League action from Cazalys Arena at Palmerston. My name's Stu Davis. I'm joined by Will Zwar. Welcome, Will.
Thanks for having me, Stu. Good to be here.
Yeah, looking forward to an even contest, I think, here. Southern Districts and Darwin Buffs. Neutral ground, really, but it's a Buffs home game here, and it should be a close one, I would think. So we're underway straight away from the first bounce. It's Jared Stokes bursting out of the centre with a long hand pass forward. Ball on the ground, and plenty of players around the ball as we just try to work it out now through the hands, and Districts fighting across half back, and eventually it's Duffy who gets the kick out of defence down towards half forward. Cleaning up across half back there is Xavier Grant, but he's under plenty of pressure, and Buffs just chip it out of defence. But again, the kick doesn't quite hit the target, looking there for Bradley Stokes, but he was worried out of the contest, and now Buffs through the hands trying to work it up to the centre of the ground. Through the hands of Stokes there, and under pressure from Sexton. The ball gets trapped in, so pretty lively start, but a few mistakes made, Will.
Yeah, it's a hot footy so far. It's no one's really managed to keep possession. It's just been a few quick fire kicks out of there. Archard again. I don't think he's gotten that tap there. It's another scrimmage though. Buffs work it out the back, and they will work it to the close wing, kicking it down the line, but that's not a great one. Straight down the guts of Kaya Jones for Districts. He'll go inboard. And it's Charles McAdam who kicks again across the ground onto the run of the Districts player. Finally gathers it, gets it back, and they're out away on the far side. I think it's Ogden will kick it inside forward 50, but it's cut off by the defender. Districts managed to pick it up, maintaining possession, but can't keep it cleanly. Oh, and here we go to the top of the square. Nope, no mark. And the Buffs clean up out of defence, kick it again to this close side. It's looking like that might roll over the boundary line. No, it's kept alive. No, it's over.
Bit of confusion there on the boundary line between the boundary umpires. Not sure who was in control, I think, but Paddy Bowles down there trying to keep it in, but it's a boundary throw in, and the big fellas will go at it. I think last week the big fella Archard had a field day for Buffs, but he's up against a bit stiffer opposition today in big Paddy Gallo, and they work the ball forward, and the mark's taken here by Thomas Clark. He hands it off, and Buffs go forward. Nice mark on the lead taken by Matty Campbell. Campbell drills it inside forward 50 and finds the leading Hassan Ahmat Watkins, and Ahmat Watkins kicked 4 or 5 last week from memory, and he's got an opportunity early here. So good ball movement by Buffs down this near side of the ground, working the ball into an open forward line, and Ahmat Watkins will take the set shot. He's about 30 metres out directly in front. Kick on the way, swinging back nicely. Goal umpire parked right in the middle of the goals there. So the first one on the board for Buffs, pretty impressive forward entry. And Ahmat Watkins, the first goal scorer of the game.
Absolutely. It was, as we said, it was a hot start to the game, and no one could really keep clean possession. But on that close swing here, I think it went from Clark through to it's Thomas Clark through to Matt Campbell, and then a drilling forward entry into Ahmat Watkins for their first goal.
Yeah, that's right, and Cale Cossack was involved as well, down right in front of us here, so just work the ball around, and as I said, nice open forward line, and the passes hit their targets and finish with the goal. So that's a good start for Buffs. Probably, I think the wind's across the ground a bit, but probably favouring the other end of the ground, if anything. So the end to which Districts are going, which is left of screen. But looking for the restart here, and big Paddy Gallo up against Archard. Archard gets up high and gets his hand to the ball, but it's Districts with first hands on the ball in the middle of the pack. Again, the ball's pretty hot in the middle there, but picked up eventually by Paul Campbell. He goes out wide and finds Jared Stokes on the outer half forward flank. Stokes looking to chip the ball back into Collinson here. Joey Collinson Looking back to Stokes, who'd run forward, and he takes the mark out on the half-forward flank on the outer side of the ground. Calling for players to lead towards him, eventually chips the ball across the middle of the ground, and that's chopped off down there by Bowden. So Connor Bowden went straight up the middle of the ground, found his teammate Delahaye. Delahaye swings to this near side of the ground where Michael Bowden takes the mark in front of Matty Campbell. And it's a 50-metre penalty. Just Matty Campbell getting used to having to keep his feet still on the mark, I think. So it's Michael Bowden who will take the free kick. That brings him inside 50, so there's a chance from here. The player on the mark staying well back. That's so that he can move, I think. But Bowden makes full use of the ground, but he's shanked that kick way out to the right-hand side, and in fact hits the behind post and out of bounds on the full.
Might be a bit of day for those sorts of kicks. It does feel quite blustery out here, but as you were saying before, it's hard to tell exactly which way the wind's blowing. Buffs now out of defence on that far side. And they find a man alone on the wing. Move it forward now. Not a great kick, but that's a good mark. Just at the top of the 50, and he hits it to the top spot. Can't quite take the mark, and Districts look to sweep it up. Oh, but there's a trip. Scrimmage again at the top, and it's a snap over. I couldn't quite see who that was there.
Jared Stokes it was, just lurking at the back of the pack, and the ball came out to him. And Districts just failed to tidy up in defence. They had plenty of numbers there, but just couldn't work it out. And Buffalo's pounced, and Jared Stokes, who's had a number of touches already in this game, as we expect, and he's on the board with Buff's second goal. So Buff's ringing the changes down in front of us here, and so Thomas Clark goes into the middle for Buffs, and just looking to restart here. Connor Bowden in there, bounding up. Gallo up high this time. Eventually gets a hand to the ball. It's punched forward. Timmy Eldridge looking to work across half back there for Buffs, but all he can do is apply the pressure. Applies the tackle now. It's a pretty good tackle, and he won't be rewarded. In fact, it'll be a ball up. So it was Jack Ganley who was on the bottom of the pack, but good defensive work by Tim Eldridge. So Robertson doing the ruck work this time, but Archer wins the hit out. There's a free kick here for a high tackle, and Districts, I think that's Barry out there. Dylan Barry, who'll take that free kick, and he looks like he's pretty confident that he's got the distance covered. He's got his back turned to the play down there, and so he'll be taking the shot at goal.
He's just won a premiership down with Rovers in the Central Australian Football League, so I'm not surprised he's got a bit of confidence behind him. Runs in for the kick now. I think he's happy with it. And Districts get their first on the board through Dylan Barry.
Yeah, good finish there, and got in low, won himself the free kick, and was always confident about making the distance and kicking the goal. So he put the pressure on himself to get it done, and that's exactly what he did. So a replying goal eventually for Districts gets them on the board. So 2-1 to a goal at this stage, and that'll perhaps settle Districts a bit more.
Jones in the ruck now for Districts, up against Archard. And Archard taps it out. Through the Buffs midfield again. I think it might have been Thomas Clark there. And the umpires pulled a free kick.
It's behind the play. It's going Districts' way at half back here. Matty McClendon, I think. So he chips the ball forward. Punched out of the hands there by Lockie McKenzie. Districts work the ball forward now, but Sexton was tackled with the ball, and Jackson Clark, first in line for Buffs, gets a hand pass back but misses the target there. Hayden Brown works back onto it now. He's under plenty of pressure, and the ball squirts out towards the boundary line, but Buffs managed to keep it in. Running onto it here is Barry once again for Districts. He kicks long towards the forward line, a huge leap down there, but unfortunately the mark couldn't be taken, and that was Jack Sexton down there for Districts. And the ball out of bounds.
Ross Tungatala nearly getting his hands on it there. I think the crowd's waiting to see what he's going to pull out of his bag of tricks today.
Yeah, of course, his first game for Districts. He's been a long time Tiwi Bombers player and St Mary's before that, but first time at Districts, so yeah, will be interesting to see how he adapts. So Buff's working the ball out of defence through the hands now. Cossack gets it across here to Brown. He's tackled with the ball and disposed of it incorrectly is the call. So Tom Bousted with the free kick. He chips inside the corridor, finds his teammate there, and Jack Ganley. Ganley goes long towards goal, but he's pulled that one and just scraped through for a behind. So Buffs 2 goals, Southern Districts 1-1 at the 11-minute mark of the first quarter in this round 2 action of TIO NTFL Men's Premier League football. Ball on the outer side of the ground, Districts working it through the hands. Charlie McAdam drills one in towards centre half forward, and again it's Dylan Barry on the end of this from almost exactly the same place as he kicked Districts' first goal a few minutes ago. So Barry again long towards goal. Again he's on target. It's just cleared the pack down there. So some good finishing by Dylan Barry, and he's got the first 2 goals for Districts and pegged back those 2 that Buffs got early in the game. So Districts take the lead for the first time in the game, albeit just by the 1 point.
It's a good start by Barry, 2 goals. I think that second one was a bit further out. It didn't look as confident as the second one, but it carried the distance and obviously was accurate enough, and that's all you need.
So umpire Tim Bitterscombe to get us started here for the restart. We're 12.5 minutes into the first quarter, and again for Districts it's Kaya Jones doing the ruck work up against Archard, who's been there all day. Archard up high, wins the tap. Stokes running onto it again. Jared Stokes drills it straight down the middle of the ground and again hits up Hassan Ahmat Watkins on the lead. So terrific ball use going forward by Buffs again. Really clean out of the centre, and a magnificent pass by Jared Stokes to Ahmat Watkins. Flat out on the lead, took the ball in his hands out in front overhead, and he lines up for his second goal. Kick on the way now. Again, no problem with the distance or the accuracy. Straight through the middle, and Buffalo's really efficient going forward, and Matt Watkins gets his second on the board.
Paddy Gallo's just come back on the ground to contest the ruck. I think they're definitely happy that he's out there. Archard for Buffs has been great in the past couple of minutes, and obviously we've seen Jared Stokes. He's been electric out of the middle. I think he's done that about 4 or 5 times now. Just grabbed it out of the off the hit out and run forward and kicked it long with great efficiency.
Yeah, so Paddy Gallo's come back on, but Archard's gone off for a spell, and Aaron Stokes is going to do the ruck work here. So you'd think that Paddy would have him covered pretty well for height, certainly. See how far Aaron can get off the ground. And Aaron, in fact, jumps over the top of him, wins the hit out, but Districts with first hands on the board. Ogden's tackled in there, gets the hand pass out, throws a boot at it, trying to kick it forward, and in fact gets penalised for that. And Jared Stokes wins the free kick again, has a player running from half back, chips it over, and finds him. A bit of dodging work by Mackenzie, and the ball's kicked forward, and again it's Armat Watkins on the lead, and he takes the contested mark, so he's proving a real headache for Southern Districts up there. He gets out on that strong lead, and he's got good hands, and that's 3 marks on the lead that he's taken now, and he's going for his 3rd shot at goal. So Armat Watkins now kicking to the clubhouse end of the ground. It looks like this one's been pulled a bit. Goal umpire makes a bit of ground, and he's missed that to the left. So first blemish for Buffs. The kick out comes in front of McAdam. He has to do some work to get there, but picks up eventually and kicks long down the wing, but it's all Buffs here. Timmy Eldridge is first there, slips over, gets a hand pass out to Luke Roberts. Roberts gets it over to Bowles. Bowles goes underground to Collinson, who weaves his way through a couple of Districts defenders and through the hands Grant to Roberts and over to Campbell. Now Matty Campbell's on this one. He's got a free player at half forward, and as usual Matty Campbell uses the ball well, kicks to the advantage of his teammate, and the mark's taken at centre half forward, and an opportunity here for Bradley Stokes coming from half back to provide an option going forward, and he's taken the mark at centre half forward.
Good composure there from Buffs. They were under the pump, but they managed to work it forward and find a loose target.
So Bradley Stokes coming in now. That's a bit of a floater, but it looks like it's on target, and it's made it all the way. So it's through for a goal. Not the best off the boot, but the result was good, and once again Buffs efficient going forward and good use of the ball, and rewarded with the goal. So we're approaching the 17-minute mark of the first quarter, and after Buffs kicked the first 2, Districts came back with 2 to Dylan Barry, but Buffs have got the next 2 after that and stretch their lead out to 12 points.
Aaron Stokes will contest the ruck again against Gallo. Interesting to see if he can do the same as he did last time, leap over the top and swing it forward. Archard makes the most of it this time, knocking it forward, but the Buffs are there to sweep, not without some pressure. But it'll be a free kick it's to Bradley Stokes this time. Kicks it sideways, not much up forward to Young Abala on the half-back flank. Looks forward, throws it on the boot. Good strong mark to Paddy Bowles there. Into the Buffs forward line, no one could take a mark. Matty Campbell running onto it. The Districts defender got to it first and works it over the line.
Yeah, Matty looked like he was going to be first to it there, but just chopping across. Luke Delahaye did some good work. He's run off his man to impact the contest there and work the ball out of bounds. So a boundary throw in right in front of the clubhouse here in the right forward pocket. And Gallo uncontested. Oh, kick out of midair from Bowles goes right towards the behind line, and eventually carried through by Michael Bowden for a behind. And he's holding the ball in the air, obviously a pre-planned signal that means something to the Districts players, but nothing to us up here. But eventually he runs out of the defensive square and kicks long. Lockie McKenzie comes across, the ball floats over his head. Ogden punches it forward, and now Duffy running onto the ball, takes it cleanly, hand passes off to Ogden, running forward of 50 now and kicks long into the square. Beautiful mark taken over the back by Jonathan Ross. He played on straight away, got tackled, but managed to get boot to ball, and it's bounced through for District's 3rd goal. So another good passage of play here by Districts. Good movement of the ball down this side, and some good working close by Ogden and Duffy down here under some pressure. Managed to work the ball forward and kick it to some space to the advantage of Jonathan Ross down there, and he did the rest for Districts.
end-to-end stuff there, as you mentioned, as they were kicking it out of the goal square. Then he's symboled to his teammates what play was going to do, and it's come off. The coach should be very happy with that.
So Archard's back out there now after Aaron Stokes contested a couple of centre bounces, and so Archard up against Gallo once again.
Be a fascinating ruck contest all day, this one between Archard and Gallo. Archard, I think, got the better of that one, but ineffectively. I think we'll have another ball up here, unless they can work it out. They might, they do. No one's quite taken clean possession yet. Buffs out to the far side. It looks like Jackson Clark hacks it onto the boot. The Districts are there to mop it up. It's Luke Delahy kicks it forward to Tom Bousted. Now he's looking forward. He's found his man about probably a bit too far out to score. He's looking for an option inside forward 50. The umpire calls play on. He's kicked it. Couldn't quite take a mark. Buff's there to mop up, but it's gone over the back, over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in.
So the right forward pocket for Southern Districts. Jaden Watts getting involved in for the first time out there, and the big fellow Dean Robertson will do the ruck work forward for Districts here. But Archer gets the front position and hits out to the advantage of his teammate. Buffs work the ball around the outer side, but it finds its way over the boundary line, and it'll be a boundary throw in right in front of the scoreboard on the outer side of the ground. So we're 21.5 minutes into this first quarter, and it's Buffs with a 7-point lead. Archer again finds the front spot. Ball's hit forward. Shawnee Armat gets onto that one and kicks high towards the outer wing. Ball bouncing out there. Collinson fighting for the ball on the outer side. Eventually gets a hand pass forward, but I think he couldn't keep it in the field of play. And it'll be another boundary throw in.
Gallo with that one there. Districts hack it onto the boot to get it forward without effect, and we'll have another throw in. Looks like the umpire's pulled a free. It's the umpire closest to us, about 40 metres or so off the contest.
Yeah, not sure what's going on here. Mark Noonan's blown the whistle, and
looks like there's a player down.
Yeah. So just stop play momentarily. So Joey Collinson taking the opportunity to make an interchange while play's stopped on the outer side of the ground.
Looks like it could be Sean Armat from the Buffs.
Yeah, it must have been as he got that clearing kick just before, so in fact they're taking him over the boundary line on the outer side of the ground. So if he gets replaced, which he is, that would suggest that Armat's not coming back on.
It's Thomas Clark replacing him from the Buffs bench. Play will resume. Free kick to Ben Archard. Buffs ruckman there for a rucking infringement. He plays on. Looks like we'll have a switch to half back to Xavier Grant. Couldn't take the mark. And they're under pressure now. There's three Buffs there. They managed to work it through. Stokes out. Again, I think that's to Grant. Now to Thomas Clark. Takes possession. Short kick out to Jackson Clark. No relation. He kicks it forward now. inside 50. Not a great option there. There was 1 on 3 up forward. And Districts mop up there. Jaden Watts couldn't take the mark. He's under pressure now. Umpire calls holding the ball. It's a good tackle there from Xavier Grant. Not sure how much prior opportunity he had there or if he had possession, but umpire's paid it. He'll kick it forward into the forward 50. Couldn't quite mark it, Buffs. Now they're picking up the crumbs. And Kyle Cossack kicks it forward to the pocket. Good intercepting mark from Districts down back. Oh, gee, not sure about that. Good press from Cazalys. Didn't get rewarded for it with the free kick, but it's an opportunity for Buffs to have a ruck contest and possibly snare something from here.
Yeah, the Buffs coaching class, staff would be delighted with that, just really putting the pressure on Michael Bowden back there and forcing a stoppage. And now it's a reset in Buffs forward half. Ball comes over the back in the ruck contest. Good hands in there by Sexton, but it's McAdam who clears it out, and the mark taken in front by Watts. He looks to switch the ball into the centre of the ground, and they've got some runners there. Ogden scrubs the kick forward, and running onto it there was DeManuel, but he got cleaned up, and play on's the call, and Moroney wins the ball for Buffs. Goes by hand to Eldridge. Eldridge keeps going wide to the outer side of the ground where Cazalys takes the mark with outstretched hands in front of him on the outer wing. He keeps the ball close to the boundary line on the outer side, and the mark's taken. Chip comes in, and Thomas Clark takes the mark at half forward for Buffs. He sees a free player here, chips it across to Luke Roberts. Went backwards to him, and Roberts is probably too far out to score from here, but he'll have a go at it. He'd be more than 50 metres out, I would think, and potentially against the breeze a little. So he'll have a go. Districts obviously working plenty of numbers back to the goal square to try to stop this one sneaking through. Kick's on the way now. It's going to fall short and wide. So it's the end of the first quarter, an entertaining first quarter, Will, but it's Buffs who hold a 7-point lead. 4-2-26 leading Districts 3-1-19.
That's right. It's a 7-point lead, and I think that's probably reflective of how the game has panned out so far. Buffs have been a bit cleaner and a bit more fluid with their motions. Districts have worked the ball forward and had their opportunities, but just haven't been as clean.
Yep, and so that's quarter time here in the last game of round 2 of the TIO NTFL 2021-22 Premiership season. We'll be back with the second quarter after this break.
Welcome back to the 2021-2022 TIO NTFL Men's Premier League Round 2 clash between Darwin Buffaloes and Southern Districts. I'm Will Zwar, joined by Stu Davis, and at quarter time we have got a 7-point game on our hands. Darwin Buffaloes 4-2, 26 to Southern Districts 3-1, 19. What do you make of the game so far, Stu?
Yeah, pretty impressed. Both sides moving the ball well when they go forward, and we've got a real contest on our hands, I think. Buffs have perhaps been a bit more efficient and just been cleaner out of centre stoppages that have given them a couple of opportunities, particularly with Jared Stokes coming out of the centre there a couple of times with direct passes down the ground and down to the focal point down forward in Hassan Ahmad Watkins, who's got a couple of goals, missed one other, but no, they've looked pretty impressive going forward. But anyone's game, obviously, and hopefully it continues as the good contest it's been so far. Archer up high, wins that hit out, but under pressure was the District's defender, Matt Duffy, and a good tackle by Paddy Bowles down there from the restart. Ball's loose on the ground. Paddy Gallo gets in there, flicks it out the back, but another strong tackle, this time by Thomas Clark, and we'll have another ball up. The ball's worked its way down to almost a centre half forward for Buffs without a disposal, really. Paddy Gallo wins the clearance this time for Districts, kicks it to open space on the near side of the ground. Jared Stokes is first there, picks up cleanly, goes by hand to Brown. Brown kicks down the line, but his teammate slipped over, unfortunately. McAdam tidies up out the back, gives it by hand over to Sexton, and Sexton's kick is smothered by Cale Cossack and goes over the boundary line for a throw-in.
We picked off where we left off. It's been a fast-paced game, very entertaining clash, and it's a bit of a bar of soap out there despite the dry conditions.
So from the restart, Gallo swings his fist over his head, but comes to Thomas Clark. He chips in short. That one's chopped off by Sexton again. He takes off with a bounce this time, chips the ball looking for Robertson, goes over his head, ball loose, and Clark with some strong work gets the hand pass forward to Jared Stokes. He handed it off to Brown. He fumbled the ball and eventually was under plenty of pressure, and it works over the boundary line for another throw-in.
Stokes is threatening to explode here. He's up and about and ready to roll.
Gallo again with the hit out, but there's a free kick by Josiah Farrer, getting a bit frustrated, I think. Advantage is paid. Jared Stokes runs onto it. Hand passes out wide to Bowles. Bowles is tackled by Ogden there, and Ogden rewarded. So really cut off that attacking action from Buffs. No, it's not a free kick, in fact. It's a ball up. So Gallo's caught out of position here. Umpire Noonan allows him time to get in there, and he wins the hit out. Farah flicks it over the back, but his teammate there Benjamin Armack couldn't take the ball. Eventually they work the ball forward, and running through here is Barry. Barry bursts through, gets a hand pass in front of Watts. Watts can't control the ball, and again plenty of pressure as the ball works its way to the boundary line, and Brown is tackled over the line by Robertson. And it'll be a boundary throw-in once again. Gallo and Archer. Ball comes forward to Watts. Watts hands it off here to Bousted. Bousted goes forward, and Robertson takes the contested mark inside 50. Eldridge thought that it was touched. In fact, umpire Noonan is calling the ball as touched. And so the mark won't be paid, and it'll be a ball up. So
Eldridge needs to watch out here. He's losing his temper, I think.
Just stirring him up a bit, I think. He's got prize for that sort of thing. But no, he plays the game hard, and he's a terrific competitor for Buffs.
Robertson in the ruck. Came out to Thomas Clark. He hacks it forward, but only as far as Kaya Jones. He'll launch inside the forward 50 now to Robertson, but it's Archard who takes the mark. Plays on straight away to Clark. Now he's on to Stokes. Off to Xavier Grant. Couldn't take it cleanly. Picks it up. There's a scrimmage now. No, Stokes couldn't tackle him, and here comes Rocco. Kicks it inside the forward 50 to Robertson, but he's tackled. And it's a Buffs free kick. Good defensive pressure. Buffs looking to rebound. Stokes again. Bradley Stokes in the back line to Grant. Working it down the wing. Strong mark at high centre half forward. Looks to play on. But he'll go back and launch it inside 50. To the lead, I think it's of Matty Campbell there. Couldn't take the mark. Free ball. Buffs claim it. Roll around. And it's a kick towards goal, but it's a behind. And Districts will kick out from full back.
So yeah, that's the first score of the quarter. In fact, 5 minutes in. Ball's been pinging around a bit, but no scores until then. And it's only the behind, and Districts go straight up the middle of the ground before switching wide. Delahaye out there to Robertson. Robertson takes off around the outer side of the ground. Chips the ball on the left foot inside to Jones. Jones plays on straight down the middle of the ground. A marking contest there. Ball spills now Watts around the corner, but that's short and wide, and Eldridge runs onto it for Buffs. He's calling the Districts player to run at him, and then chips it to the advantage of a teammate, and Xavier Grant runs it out of defence. Nice mark taken in front there by Luke Roberts. He plays on by hand to Thomas Clark. He chips it in to the middle of the ground where Campbell takes the mark. Paul Campbell again got free players at half forward. Jared Stokes went with one hand, and Districts have run onto this one now. They're running themselves into trouble though. Jones gets a hand pass out wide, and now the opportunity there for Rowan Bailey. He hands it off and Districts go forward, and now an opportunity to run onto it. It's Robertson in some space. His kick falls into the hands of Josiah Farrer. He kicks around the corner, and the mark's taken there by Jonathan Ross. So they got the result in the end, but gee, it was a bit of untidy work going forward. But Jonathan Ross on the end of it takes the mark.
Not home yet. It'll be a tough kick. He's on a tight angle here. They're deep pockets. He plays on. Bananas it through, and gee, that's a good kick.
Yeah, good finish. So Josiah Farrer involved for basically the first time in this game, I think, and we saw earlier he gave away a free kick where he looked a bit frustrated, but that's a good finish after a bit of untidy work going forward. But as I said, got the result, and so they're right back in the game now, only a couple of points the difference.
I think he had been playing a minor tagging role on Jared Stokes. Josiah Farrer there, so you can imagine he'd be getting frustrated, but helping set up that goal would be a good reward, and hopefully builds his confidence for the rest of the game.
Yeah, so he's starting forward now from this stoppage down there with Ross Tungatalam. He's only had the one touch that I can remember, and apparently he's been a bit crook, so he's obviously working his way back to fitness, but in for his first game for Districts today. But from the centre square, it's Thomas Clark read it beautifully and gets the clearance, kicks long into the forward line, and again it's Ahmat Watkins out on that long lead, and he takes the mark out in front. Beautiful delivery by Thomas Clark. Kicked it to the space and allowed him to run onto it, and he's taken the mark about a 45-degree angle. He'll be kicking from, I'd say, about 35 or 40 metres, but from there the wind's probably right behind his back as he comes in now, and his kick at goal is trying to make its way back, but it doesn't come back far enough, so he's just hung that one out to the right. So after kicking the first two shots that he's had a couple and just sprayed one either side since then. So
Thomas Clark has built into this game. He took that ball there, and he's just been fantastic the first 8 minutes of this quarter.
As Michael Bowden brings the ball in, that's a wobbler and falls into the hands of Cossack, who took the mark and went the wrong way, I think, so was called to play on. Campbell gets the handball across, and now the ball comes back in, and speaking of that man Thomas Clark, he takes the mark, off one step. He's seen his teammate forward, wasted no time, and Ahmet Watkins had Matty Campbell free in the goal square. That was all a bit of a training drill stuff, really. There was no pressure from the district's defenders as the ball came forward quickly, and unselfish work by all of those Buffalo's players. Saw it finish with Matty Campbell, and he was on the goal line with the handball receive and kicks his first goal.
Poor effort out of the back line there from Districts. Not sure whether he's kicked the ground on the way through or just hasn't hit it right, but it went straight to, I think it was Kyle Cossack we said before.
Yeah.
And obviously they just weren't there to get it on the rebound, and it was an easy goal for Buffs.
So from the restart, there's a whistle on the player, holding free kick being paid. It's going to Joey Collinson of Darwin Buffs in the middle of the ground. So Collinson moves the ball on now, straight down the corridor, but there's no Buffs players there. McAdam got his hands to it, couldn't hold the mark, got the hand pass up, and out of defence it was McClendon who kicked one along the ground, but Ogden manages to get on the end of it and chips the ball straight across the ground to Ganley. Ganley wanders off towards the near side of the ground and chips it forward looking for big Paddy Gallo, but he misjudged that one, went over his head. Demamuel comes in but couldn't get possession of the ball. Eldridge does really well for Buffs in defence. Wins the ball and advances it forward. Hand pass misses the target down there, and running in is Ganley for Districts again. He chips it looking for Gallo. Gallo's under plenty of pressure, and illegal pressure according to the umpire, and Archer gives away the free kick, and Ganley will get the free kick right in front of us here on the centre wing. And he'll be looking to advance the ball to a pretty packed forward line down there. He keeps it pretty close to the forward line and to the boundary line. In the end, it's an uncontested mark to Lockie McKenzie. He chips across the ground to Bradley Stokes. He takes the mark, plays on with a handball, and running off of half back is Charlie Sharples there. Sharples still with the ball. Hand passes out wide, and a chip pass going forward goes over the head of Bowles. Bowles running onto it, but couldn't take it. Matty Campbell's in there, picks it up cleanly, kicks long towards the top of the goal square. Reaching over the back was Ahmet Watkins, couldn't take the mark. Districts players get back there to tidy up. Michael Bowden chips it out of defence and hits up Jack Sexton at half back, who plays on straight away. Goes down the wing. Robertson's in there in the marking contest. Eventually taps it to the advantage of his teammate Jones, who looked to be slung after he got rid of the ball. Play on's the call. The handball comes out the back to Aaron Stokes, and he's got a free player forward in Luke Roberts. Roberts strolls off, kicks inside 50. Oh, the mark couldn't be taken. He's hurt himself diving for that one. Gets a tap on the head as the ball's picked up by Bowden, and Districts work the ball out, but that's a poor kick. Comes towards the boundary line, slapped forward by Robertson here to his own advantage. He gets hit with a heavy bump. Ooh. And he might be a bit slow getting up here. So we've got a couple of players on the ground at the moment. There's a free kick paid for this one. And Robertson looks to be in a bit of trouble here.
Just got a break in play here at the 13-minute mark of the 2021-22 TIO NTFL Men's Premier League clash between Darwin Buffs and Southern Districts. Dean Robertson's just been hitting the contest, but he looks a bit groggy and he'll be coming off the ground. As Darwin Buffaloes lead Southern Districts 5 goals 4, 34 to 4 goals 1, 25. I believe it's Ganley restarting, kicked it to Demamuel, but he couldn't take the mark, and McKenzie sweeps for Buffs. Now with Thomas Clark. Back to Campbell. Ball rolls out of bounds, under pressure. And we will have a throw in on centre wing.
So that player's still in the hands of the trainers down in the pocket there. It's just It's a Buffaloes player. Can't see who it is. Of course, they're already one short with Shawnee Armat going off in the first quarter. But in the meantime, Districts have worked the ball forward towards half forward. Tungatalam in there picks up, gets a quick kick forward. It bounces inside 50. Oh, nicely done there by Watts, dragging it back in, but then couldn't control it afterwards. And tackled there was Bradley Stokes, got the hand pass out the back. Paul Campbell gets a hand pass further wide to Xavier Grant. Looked one way, went the other, and found some space, kick forward, finds Cossack there. He switches the ball directly across the ground, and the mark's taken out there by Sharples. Sharples goes sideways again towards the outer side of the ground. The ball bounces and checks and doesn't do Buffs any favours out there, and so District's able to close them down. But a quick kick forward again by Sharples, this time bouncing at half forward. Bowden over the top, got his hand to the ball. There's a free kick found here, and it's going to go Buffalo's way, and it's going to be Hassan Ahmad Watkins to take that free kick at centre half forward.
And it's Kyle McBean, that Buffs player, who's down the forward pocket. Looks like he's carrying his right shoulder a little bit. I'm not sure if there's anything wrong there, but he's a renowned goal kicker. He won the Division 1 goal kick medal a few years ago for Waratah. Came across to Buffs, I think, this season. And look, if he's out, it could be a couple of goals that the Buffs will be missing by the end of the game. And obviously they're already one man down already, as you said, so hopefully it's not the end of the game for him.
Yeah, that was just, he was out by himself, and I don't know if he fell on the ball or on his shoulder trying to take the mark, but he looked a bit sore. The kick's on the way anyway from Ahmet Watkins, and hits the post, unfortunately for Buffs. So after a pretty good quality opening quarter where there were 7 goals scored, we've gone almost 16 minutes in this second quarter and just 1 goal each on the board. But side sorting himself out. The chip kick comes across to Ogden. He hand passes inboard, caught Jones a bit by surprise there, but he recovers pretty well. But the kick's out wide and straight to the opposition, and that kick's smothered and finds its way over the boundary line for a throw-in. So a little bit scrappy at the moment, but hopefully things will open up and we'll get some scores on the board again. From the restart, Archard wins that hit out, but straight into the hands of Delahaye. Districts work the ball forward. Mark couldn't be taken, but Duffy gets a hand pass out wide, and a string of hand passes sees them running through half forward. Sexton by hand this time, and now it's centering kick in towards half forward. Barry was under that one, couldn't take the mark, and Buffs work it out through the hands through Moroney and Grant, but that kick misses the target. Jones switches back into the centre of the ground where Charlie McAdam takes the mark. He's looking to get the ball moving quickly, chips the ball forward and has a player all by himself here at centre half forward. That's Ogden. That's a lazy looking kick, but goes to the advantage of his teammate who hooks around the corner. I think it might have snuck its way through. Fortunately for Districts, it was a pretty casual kick forward by Ogden. I'm just trying to see who it was who kicked that goal, in fact, for Districts. But regardless, Districts have got their second goal for the quarter on the board.
I think it may have been Jaden Watts there.
Yeah, we'll go that way. So so Districts kick their second for the quarter and narrow that margin down to 4 points. And perhaps a bit fortunate to be that close. Buffs have had a couple of opportunities that they've missed, but that's where we stand at the moment. And from the restart, Buffs again with the clearance straight down the middle of the ground where Cossack takes the mark coming out from centre half forward. He looks to drill the pass in. It's a beautiful pass once again. And again, it's Ahmet Watkins on the end of this one, leading hard straight up the ground. And he's marked about 30 out directly in front.
It's an interesting crossroads in the game here. Obviously, Buffs are possibly 2 men down. Will District strike while the iron's hot, or will Buffs sort of rally and make sure they don't let that wear them down? Matt Watkins runs in. He likes it. He's hit the instant reply. It's back up to a 10-point lead. Darwin Buffaloes lead Southern Districts 6 goals, 5-41 to 5 goals, 1-31. We're 19 minutes of the way through the round 2 clash on the 2021-22 TIO NTFL Men's Premier League for round 2.
So we're approaching time on in the second quarter of this round 2 match, and looks like Tungatalam's gone into the middle for Districts. And from the restart, it is Tungatalam in there, gets his hands to the ball, gets a hand pass forward under pressure. Thomas Clark gets worried out of it, but I think he might have copped a high tackle there, and he'll take the free kick right in the middle of the ground. Just waiting for the ball to come back after it had been kicked out. So Thomas Clark with the free kick in the middle of the ground. We've got a whistle on the play here. I think there might have been a Districts player infringing on the protected zone. And so it'll be a 50-metre penalty, and that'll give Clark an opportunity to kick for goal from well inside forward 50.
I think that's the second 50-metre penalty we've seen today from one of the rule changes. Obviously, the main two is the protected zone, and there's also the standing on the mark rule. So far, from what I've seen, clubs have been pretty good to adapt. Obviously, there's still a few teething issues, but we've only seen a couple in each game. As Thomas Clark kicks truly, and he puts the Buffaloes up by 16 points. That's 7 goals, 5-47 to 5 goals, 1-31. They lead Southern Districts 20 minutes or 21 minutes of the way through the second quarter of the 2021-22 TIO NTFL Men's Premier League clash here at Cazalys Stadium in Palmerston.
So Buffs have hit back with a couple of goals after Districts snuck that one forward and got within 4 points, and Buffs have responded really well in the dying stages of this second quarter. So after there was almost no goals scored, we've had 3 in about 4 minutes here, and Districts need to hold on here, and we'll be looking to get one back themselves, I would think, before the half-time break. So ball loose in the centre of the ground. Tungatalam bursts his way through, advances it there to the advantage of Sexton. He falls on top of the ball, gets caught with it, and he's dragged it in, says the umpire, and the free kick will be paid. So it's Jackson Clark. He goes by hand to Sharples. Sharples goes on the left, straight down the middle of the ground. Again, not much pressure there, and out in front, Kadabala takes the mark, kicks down to an open forward line, and again out in front is Hassan Ahmat Watkins, and he's proving a real headache for Districts down there. That's about his 6th mark going forward, and each one has resulted in a shot on goal. He's kicked 3 so far and missed a couple, but this one's not too far out, and you would like his chances from there.
He likes it.
Yep, he does, and just guided that one through inside the left-hand goal post, and he's kicked his 4th in the first half of this game, and so I don't know what options Districts have got defensively, but they just need to be working harder back to help out their defenders. I think they've got a pretty open forward line, and Buffs are making full use of that.
They put Tungatalam in the middle for about 5 minutes there. That didn't work. He's just come off to the bench. Dylan Barry's come on and moved forward, but interesting to see what moves the Districts pull out here.
So from the restart, ball's hit the ground, it's socket forward. Demamuel gets on the end of this one, swings the ball over his shoulder high inside forward 50. It bounces to the advantage there of Connor Bowden, his kick went straight up in the air basically, but there's been an infringement there, and it's a district's free kick. Some Bronx cheers from the crowd. I'm not sure things have gone against them completely today, but free kick taken by Ganley. He centres the ball, and I think that might be Sexton on the end of that one at centre half forward. So he's got a player running past calling for it. It's not paid, and it's Sexton who'll take the set shot.
Not sure how confident he is. But he gives it a go.
Yes, drag that, and it's falling short. And good defensive mark taken back there by Lockie McKenzie. He switches the ball straight across the face of goal. It swirls a bit, but Xavier Grant's good enough to get on the end of it and take the mark. He's got Collinson running free just beside him. He chips it over into the pocket. Collinson takes the mark and goes straight on down the wing here. Out in front there was Cossack. He had the ball spoiled away. And now the opportunity for Districts through Ganley. Kicked it inboard, but the siren beats them all. And so after they were challenged a bit in the middle of the quarter there, Buffaloes have responded with the last 3 goals and really stretched that lead out to 22 points going into half time. So Buffaloes with 4 goals to 2 in that quarter extend the lead, and they're looking pretty good at this stage and looking good for the points, I would have thought, Will, going into half time.
Yes, absolutely. They've been a bit cleaner with the play. They are 2 men down, so it'll be interesting to see if they can maintain it for 4 quarters. Obviously, we think that Shawnee Armat's done for the day. He obviously went off on the other side of the ground. Kyle McBean made his way gingerly across here. He's just walking onto the field with his teammates now, but he doesn't look too good. So after half-time, we'll resume, and we'll have to see what happens if they can hold out or if Districts will make the most of their opportunity. But as we head into the break, it's 8-5-53 to Darwin Buffaloes, plays 5-1-31 to Southern Districts in the 2021-2022 TIO NTFL Men's Premier League clash in round 2. Welcome back for the second half of the AFLNT's coverage of the 2021-22 TIO NTFL season from Cazalys Arena in Palmerston. We have a game on our hands. It's Darwin Buffaloes 8-5-53, leading Southern Districts 5-1-31, a 22-point margin as we head into the second half here in Palmerston. And it's Gallows versus Archard in the ruck, a fascinating contest all day. Archard gets up. I think it was a 0-0 draw there, but Buffs come out of the middle, kick it forward, and Aaron Stokes couldn't quite take the mark. Buffs trying to claim possession, but can't quite do it. It's a foot race to the ball. Buffs trying to wheel it forward. I think the umpires pulled a free kick out there, which will go to Cale Cossack from Buffs, probably just too far out to score, but he'll certainly in a position to set something up. He goes forward to Campbell. Gee, that's a good mark. The little master in the forward pocket.
Yeah, the old fella got up there, clean hands. Well, he's not that old probably, but yeah, he's still a valuable contributor for Buffs, and he's a sharpshooter too. So I wouldn't put this beyond him. Deep in the pocket. Gee, that's a good-looking kick.
Just across the face, and it's punched through for a minor score.
Yeah, so Districts will be looking to hit the scoreboard early, I would think. They've got the work to do coming into this second half. But Buffaloes with the first forward entry. Bowden goes long to the outer side of the ground. Mark's claimed out there, but not paid, and wrapped up in the tackle, and we'll have a ball up on the outer wing. Archard up high over the top, wins a hit out. Sexton gets his hands to the ball first, gets bumped from a couple of different sides and hits the ground, and we'll have another ball up. Archard again gets up high, gets his hand to the ball. Jared Stokes running onto this one, clears away with a bounce, gets pushed as he kicked the ball, and was just touched, I think, by the Buffalo player on the line, so it'll be a boundary throw in the left forward pocket right next to the behind post. So not a bad result for Buffaloes in the end there.
They'll be looking to score here, staying very dangerous. Boundary umpire throws it in. Cossack on Gallo in the ruck there. And Districts try to work it out of defence, but Stokes gets onto it. Gee, that's a good kick towards goal, but won't quite make it. And another behind, which pushes the margin out to 4 straight kicks.
So Paddy Bowles that time, he's been busy around the midfield as well, and we've had plenty of good contributors so far today. Bowden again going to the outer side of the ground. We'd much prefer they came this side. It's a long way over there. Very wide ground here at Cazalys Arena, but Districts working the ball through the hands, trying to find some space. Eventually comes into the hands of Sexton. He goes long down towards full forward. Moroney worked his player away from the ball pretty well, but spilt the mark. Now wrestling for the ball between half forward and full forward. It's a stalemate and a ball up, so an opportunity perhaps here for Districts, and it was Ganley down there involved in that contest, and we were advised during the break that he was in fact the scorer of their second goal in the second quarter, so just amend the records there and apologise to him, but he's on the board. So from the hit out, it's Districts trying to get their hands on the ball there, but they're under plenty of pressure, and now an opportunity for Buffs through Jared Stokes. He overran the ball in the end, and again players wrapped up, and we'll have another ball up. The ball's worked out side forward 50 for Buffs now, just at the edge of the centre square. Collinson flicks it over the back. Cossack gets a hand to it, quick kick out, picked up down there by Aaron Stokes, and he gets caught with the ball. It's a free kick to McClendon. Clinton plays on, kicks long. Oh, Moroney ran underneath that one, allowed it over the top. Mackenzie works back, gets a hand pass across, looking for Eldridge there, fumbles it on the first occasion, then just lets it go. Play on's the call. Barry one-handed hand pass, I think, and that's the way the umpire's seen it. And it'll be a free kick to Buffs in the last line of defence.
And on the injury front, another Buffs player has just come to the bench looking very ginger, Cale Cossack. Kyle McBean's actually made his way back out on the ground, so it looks like he'll continue the game, but he has seemed to be playing quite deep forward. Obviously, Sean Armatt came off in the first quarter, and Dean Robertson looks like he will be out for the game as well with another injury. But watch this space here as his troops are not quite falling over completely, but certainly questioning how their bodies are holding up so far.
That's a strong mark on the outer side. The chip kick comes in, and it's Dylan Barry on the end of this one. And we know that he likes that area of the ground. Kicked a couple of goals in the first quarter from out that way. This one's a bit wider, and take a good kick from there. But again, he's gone back confidently. Lining up would be kicking from just outside 50, I would think. On the way now, it's going to fall short, and coming out in defence is Eldridge, ever reliable back there for Buffs. Takes that mark in front, almost uncontested in the end, and now he's looking to bring the ball to the near side of the ground. Going early was Kate Abala, but the mark taken there by Connor Bowden for Districts. He's trying to get some movement from his players further up the ground and pumps it long to the top of the goal square in the end. Marks claimed and paid, and that's Lockie McKenzie, who took that mark in the middle of the pack basically. Got some players running wide here, and Kate Abala takes that one, takes off straight away, hand passes inboard to Campbell. Campbell swings the hand pass but misses the target. Coming in there is Sharples. He's tackled with the ball, and illegally, according to the umpire, got caught by the leg. I think the tackle perhaps just slipped down in the end, and
he got lucky there. He was certainly trying to make a run for it. He goes to Campbell. Plays on to Clark. He goes to Matt Campbell this time. And he kicks to a lead, but doesn't quite get to him. About 45 out from goal. And Districts are there to mop up. Jones now gives it off to the big man, Gallo. Back to Jones, I think it was. He kicks forward. And if they can get it to him, Delaniel's free. No, they'll hack it. Oh, gee, that could be a missed opportunity there.
And he had players out wide.
DeManuel let him know about it, I think. Yeah. He said, I was here, I was open. Just a minor score.
So Buffalo's straight up the ground. Collinson hands it off to Thomas Clark. He kicks towards the outer side. Archad running onto it there, but overran it in the end, and Districts look like they have the numbers to work it out, but Buffalo's working hard defensively, and they win the free kick. And now a kick forward by Roberts has seen another free kick paid here, and again it's a Buffalo's free kick, and it's Hassan Ahmat Watkins on the end of it. So he continues to worry the District's defence, and he'll have a set shot for goal from 35 or 40 metres out, about a 45-degree angle. So Hassan Ahmat Watkins, 4 goals in the first half, lining up for his first of the second half. The kick's on the way, looks like it's working its way back. That's a beautiful kick for goal. An excellent finish, and that's the first goal of the second half, and not the way Districts needed it to go. Buffalo's stretched that lead out to 29 points, so it's starting to look a bit of a tall order for Districts now, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they would have definitely wanted to get the first couple of goals in the second half, but it wasn't to be, and look, they definitely need the next one. Otherwise, it will be a bit too much for them. We're sitting 29 points down at the moment. They need to get a move on if they're going to make a game of this. Obviously, they lost last week to Wanderers by 12 points. They wouldn't want to go 0-2. It just gets tougher from there. Plays resumed in the middle. And it's a free kick. Advantage is played. Sharples kicks it forward, and Ahmat Watkins again.
Just works his way to the right places, and he's fast on the lead and good hands, and just a bit too big and strong for the district's defenders at the moment. Ahmat Watkins, 5 goals in round 1, kicks towards goal now, and this one's good as well. It's his 6th for today, so started the season in really strong form, and clearly a contender for the Dennis Dunn Trophy, leading goal kicker in the league early in the season. But 5 last week, as I said, and 6 already today. He's really enjoying his time with Buffaloes early in the season.
And 10 minutes through the third quarter of the AFLNT's coverage of the 2021-22 TIO NTFL season. We're here at Cazalys Arena in Palmerston, and that goal from Hassan Ahmat Watkins stretches the lead out to 35 points. Archard there out of the middle. Gee, here come the Buffs again. Thomas Clark this time. Kicks it forward, it bounces. McAdam picks it up, gives it off to the running defender. He kicks it forward. Gee, free kick there, I think, against Eldridge to Ganley. Jack Ganley, one of the better players, in my opinion, for the Crocs in that first half. He'll look to go forward. And Farah has taken a mark on a strong lead. He could be the man to spark a revival from Southern Districts.
Well, yeah, he certainly hasn't had much influence in the game so far, and he gets on the end of this one, out on a strong lead, and yeah, obviously an understatement to say that they need him to kick this goal, but he's had some good goal-kicking form in the off-season. That one looks like he's dragged it, unfortunately. Kicked 11 goals in the preliminary final in the Big Rivers League for Catherine South, but unfortunately not on this occasion. And Buffs work it out of defence on the outer side. Chip pass inboard to Thomas Clark, who's been busy all day. He goes wide again and finds Mackenzie out wide in front of the scoreboard. So we're just slowing things down out there, but they've got loose players, and Xavier Grant on the end of this one takes the mark. He's looking inboard now, but changes his mind and goes down the line. Matty Campbell's there, takes the mark overhead, plays on straight away with a hand pass, and gets the ball back, kicks long down towards forward 50, and a good mark taken in front. Swinging around and kick inboard. Oh, mark's taken and played on straight away. Kick towards goal is a scrubber straight across the ground, and rolls into the behind post. And I think that was Luke Roberts, was it?
Cater Bale there. His
Cater
speed
Bale,
is
yeah,
definitely one of his strengths, but sometimes I think he gets a bit of ahead of himself. He probably just need to go back and take the set shot there. It was not too difficult a shot, and he's wasted an opportunity there. And Kyle McBean there, the possibly injured man, but he's back on the field, and he's just hacked it out of the ruck contest, and it's out on the full, unfortunately. Crocs to restart play. It's now with Aaron Morris. Haven't called his name much today. Gets it, I think that was to Sexton, kicks it down the line, and he will get a free kick for a late hit. And it could be reversed here. Gee, there's a bit of a scuffle forming in the district's back pocket. Jonathan Ross will take the kick from half back. It's where the umpires deemed it from. And gee, it wasn't a good kick. Turns it straight over to Kevin Moroney. He kicks it. Sloppy play here. District's now with the ball again. They can't hit a target either. Ganley goes back. It's a kick forward. Jaden Watts couldn't take the mark, nearly did. Eldridge put pressure on him, dropped it. Back with Eldridge now. He uses his pace, nearly trips over, gets the hands out. That's Campbell. He kicks it, just hacks it forward though, and Sexton takes the mark. He plays on, goes forward. Farah takes a mark, plays on, just outside 50. And that is a good mark, strong attacking position. Plays on, kicks towards goal, and it's bounced through for Jonathan Ross. That's his third goal for the day.
So yeah, as we said, a badly needed goal for Districts, but again, they made hard work of it initially, but some good work eventually going forward and moved the ball on quickly, which gave them the opportunity to find players in some space. And Jonathan Ross did the finishing work in the end. So the first of a number that Districts need to work their way back into contention in this game.
Not a comedy of errors there, but fair to say both teams had their chances to make the most of that play and kept butchering it, and it was the Crocs who got on the end of it. Restart play here.
So Aaron Morris has gone into the ruck for Districts. Free kick's been found in the middle of the ground. And it's going to Bowden, I think. Bowden goes straight down the ground. Farah shoved his opponent out of the way. Ball landed in his hands, handed it off. And that was Ganley, wasn't it, on the end of it again? It was,
I think it
on
might
the
have
left
been, yep.
foot, and finished well. So 2 in a minute to Districts, and that's just what they needed. And Josiah Farah now starting to work his way into the game with a couple of touches and that have led to the last 2 goals. So just what they would have been looking for.
And that was Ganley's second goal for the day. Obviously, he kicked that quick snap down the other end. He's been very good for the Crocs.
So Buffs at that previous stoppage had Archard and Jared Stokes on the bench. They've now made their way into the middle of the ground for this one, and obviously that they're their first stringers, if you like, and Archard up against Aaron Morris. You would think that he'd jump all over him here, and he does, gets his hand to the ball. Thomas Clark there taps it on cleverly. Jared Stokes bursting through again, kicks forward, and that's a fantastic forward entry once again. I think that's Paul Campbell on the end of that one, and he takes a mark. But gee, Jared Stokes, when he gets a head of steam coming out of the centre from behind the stoppage, he's done that 4 or 5 times today and hits a target every time he goes forward.
And those 3 men, they've been busy. Archard, Thomas Clark and Jared Stokes, all involved there. As Campbell comes in and he kicks it. Oh, he's just hit the post.
So a let off there for Districts. Lyle Ogden's just run onto the ground in front of us and he's screaming for the ball out here. He's got plenty of room. I don't know if Bowden's seen him.
He goes further
ignored him.
To the ruckman. Gallo. Wasn't a great kick. Ganley under it, couldn't take the mark. Gallo now trying to rove it. Sexton gets it out to Ganley. Ganley kicks inboard. It was a mark to Duffy. Duffy gets it onto Ganley again, who kicks it forward. And Ross hacks it forward. DeMamuel runs onto it. He's got space, but it's not in the right area. He hands it over. I think this will be a goal here. It is. It's Jaden Watts.
Wow, so 3 in a row to Southern Districts after Darwin had kicked the first 2 goals of this quarter and the last 3 of the previous quarter. So maybe this is the spark that they needed, the comeback that they needed. So they've really whittled that margin back down to 17 points now and are right in the contest if they can maintain the pressure and the scoreboard pressure and just hit a couple more goals as this quarter winds its way out. We're just hit the 18-minute mark of this third quarter, and as I said, the last 3 goals of the game to Southern Districts, so that'd get them interested and give them a chance. Gallo back in the ruck now. Got his hand to it, but Jared Stokes was first there. The ball didn't bounce kindly for him. Archard hacks it out of the air forward. McAdams first there. Can't pick it up cleanly on the first attempt. Does now. Gets a handball. He's tackled. Ball comes back to him. He's tackled again and hand passes again. Bowden sweeps a hand pass over the top, but under plenty of pressure there was Delahaye. Gets it over to Sexton here. Sexton shrugs the tackle, kicks forward looking for Ganley. The pass was just off target a bit. Sexton comes in, tackles the big fella Archer and does a good job, and bit of a wrestle on down in front of us, but Sexton hasn't been District's worst player, that's for sure. He's had a fair bit of the ball and he's kept having a crack.
It's the two jacks in there, Sexton and Ganley. Both can hold their head very high for the Crocs. Archard looks a bit hurt there. I think he's coming off, possibly in that tackling effort from Sexton. Plays on, McAdam now. Throws it onto the boot forward. And it's a free kick after he was slung. Ball's coming back to McAdam on the half-back flank. And they've got all the momentum. They'll want to make the most of it here. He's got a few options up forward. Big man Galley won't go to him. Instead, he comes short to Connor Bowden. He kicks inboard.
Oh.
Overcooked it. Watts will have to make up for it, but Mackenzie sweeps it. He kicks it forward to his captain in Stokes. He takes the mark. Plays on to Matty Campbell. Matty Campbell kicks it forward to McBean. Doesn't make it, but McBean runs onto it, turns around, throws it onto his right. It's a good snap. Will it make the distance? Oh, it's hit the post.
So a good forward move there, but District's the opportunity. They go to the outer side of the ground, wasting no time. Michael Bowden on the end of that with a couple of bounces. Kicks wider again, out near the boundary line. Ogden out there. Kicks deep inside forward 50. Ball bouncing out near the boundary line. Ross claiming that he was held without the ball there and might have had a case to argue, but that went unseen and it's gone out of bounds in the right forward pocket. A quick transition of play by Districts that time from the kick in from the behind, and boundary umpire just trying to catch up. So we'll have the ball in now. Right forward pocket for Southern Districts at Palmerston City end of the ground. Throw in falls short. Gallo picks it up, gets a kick forward. DeManuel in the contest there, but couldn't take the mark, and it's punched over the boundary line for another boundary throw in about 20 metres closer to the District's goal.
And 21 minutes into the third quarter here, it's an 18-point game. Darwin Buffaloes lead Southern Districts 10 goals 9-69 to 8-3 51 in the TIO NTFL Men's Premier League Round 2 clash here at Cazalys Arena in Palmerston. Buffs sweeping it and kicking it out of the defensive 50, but it was just thrown on the boot. District's big man, Gallo now has it. Gee, he runs around one. He goes towards goal, he kicks it, but it's offline. Gee, that would have brought the house down, I reckon. Back in town, the Crocs would have been, but it wasn't to be. And Buffs now have an opportunity to reload. Xavier Grant in the back pocket now. He's got a few numbers on here.
So Moroney in that marking contest was spoiled by Connor Bowden coming in late, and eventually the ball got bundled over the boundary line, and it'll be a throw in at half forward for Southern Districts.
Not lopping the ruck against Gallo. Gee, he's won it there. Not effectively. The big man gets on the ground again for Districts. Watts tries to pick it up. And that's three-quarter time of the NTFL, or TIO NTFL Men's Premier League Round 2 clash between Darwin Buffaloes and Southern Districts. And the scores: Darwin Buffaloes 10 goals 9-69 lead Southern Districts, 8 goals 4-52 by 17 points.
Yeah, so Districts have just given themselves a sniff with those last 3 goals of the quarter, and you know, I'm sure that Matty Cannard and his coaching staff will be trying to get them to believe that they can get the job done, but it's all ahead of them still. They've got those 3 goals to make up, and Buff's probably going with whatever wind there is. But that's 3/4 time. We'll be back after the break with the final quarter.
Welcome back. You are watching the AFLNT's coverage of the 2021-22 TIO NTFL season from Cazalys Arena in Palmerston. I'm Will Zwar. With me is Stu Davis. And the Darwin Buffaloes hold a 17-point lead as we get into the fourth quarter. Buffaloes kick it out of the middle. Can't quite take a mark. And looks like Districts, with all the momentum coming out of the third quarter, will try and rebound. They move it forward. The big man Gallo takes a mark in the middle of the ground. He'll go back, hands it off. And Barry couldn't take the mark on the run. Comes back now. Hayden Brown. He's kicked it out wide to Abala. Abala now to Motlop. Not Motlop, sorry, to Stokes. He comes back to Sharples on the near side wing. Good mark from Paddy Bowles there. Too far out to score, with plenty of opportunity in front of him. Don't know if that's exactly what he wanted to do, but he kicks it to the lead, and I think it's not
It's Matty Campbell.
It's Matty Campbell.
Yeah. Just kicked it out into space and allowed Campbell to run onto it. It's probably not, as you said, exactly where he wanted to kick it, but it was out in space and Campbell had the front position and got out there to the drop of the ball. So this is exactly what Districts wouldn't be wanting to start the final quarter after they'd kicked the final 3 goals of that third quarter. Campbell's kick on the way. Oh, he's dragged that one. Unusual for Matty. So let off there for Districts, and Charlie McAdam will go and retrieve the ball and look to bring it back into play. So McAdam goes up the corridor looking for the big fella Gallo, but bus players are all over him and force it forward. Kick comes forward from Abala, working for the ball on the ground. Eventually a throw is called against Matt Watkins, and it's Michael Bowden who'll take the free kick. He chips in short up the corridor. It's a dangerous one. Bowles read it beautifully, chopped in, played on straight away, kicked long towards goal and hammered it home. And so a turnover there from Districts, and Bowles was all over it. Terrific intercept and a great finish. Wasted no time, went straight on and kicked the goal. So he's been a good player all day and just rewarded himself with a goal there.
It takes it out to a 4-goal lead, 24 points. And Districts have only kicked 8 today, so they've got a big effort in front of them if they're to take the 4 points home at the end.
Yeah, that one just take the wind out of the sails a bit. I think they had control of the ball and turned it over, not under any pressure, so they need to regroup quickly in the middle here and try to win the clearance and get themselves back into the contest. Gallo and Archard again. It's been a terrific duel. I think Archard's probably had the points. A great hit down to Thomas Clark. He goes straight up the middle of the ground. Matt Watkins forces his opponent out of the contest, runs back onto the ball, kicks it off the ground, straight through the middle for his 7th goal of the day. And 2 in a minute to Buffs probably has put it beyond the reach of Districts now, I would have thought.
Yes, the 30-point margin in the fourth quarter is never easy to come back from. And Districts will have to give it everything they've got here.
Yeah, Matt Watkins been something of a revelation with 5 goals last week, 7 so far today. He's a real handful for opposition defenders deep in the Buffs forward line. So the restart again. Gallo up high this time. Hits it forward, but he's got no one there. Thomas Clark comes in. There's a free kick against the big fella Archard, going to Gallo and for holding as he was trying to make his way to the ball. Gallo hand passes off there to Farah. Farah chips in short to Armat. Armat still inside the centre square. Goes short again looking for Dylan Barry, and that's a good pass. Hits Barry on the lead and he takes the mark about 45 metres out directly in front and this would be one of the ones they need to get themselves back somewhere near being in the game. Dylan Barry got a couple of goals already today in the first quarter. This one's not going to score at all. It's going deep into the pocket. Hit to the front of the pack. Manuel there sweeps the hand pass back around to Ganley. Ganley bumped as he kicks the ball, kicks it high to the top of the goal square. Watts in the contest does well to force it out wide, but Buff's working hard in defence. Good work down there by Abala. Eventually it's Districts who get the ball, but wrapped up in the tackle there.
Rowan Bailey, I think it was.
Yeah, Rowan Bailey, the younger brother of Zach Bailey, plays for Brisbane Lions, but one of the younger brothers of Zach Bailey. But I think it's his first game of Premier League football today. But, yeah, just had his arm pinged and couldn't dispose of the ball. But Districts have fought back and forced a stoppage here with a boundary throw-in, and still in their forward half. Ball's knocked forward. Running onto it down there was Roberts, but ran out of space and carried the ball over the boundary line. So another boundary throw in at right half forward for Southern Districts.
I tried out there, but it went down. Gee, there's Bailey again. Throws it on his boot. And it'll be another stoppage. Deep in these deep pockets here at Cazalys Arena in the District's forward line.
Bit of feeling coming into the game here, and umpires got their hands full just trying to sort things out a bit. But we'll have the boundary throw in right next to the behind post there. Strong contest. Ball on the ground, but no space to move once you take possession. But Eldridge has found some space, and he runs the ball out of defence, kicks long down towards Matty Campbell. Some clever work on the ground, taps the ball past his opponent, keeps tapping it in front of himself, makes about 40 metres there before the ball goes out of bounds. They're calling for deliberate. That's what's been paid, perhaps a bit unlucky, but Bowden takes the free kick, hits up a target there. It just spills off the chest there of Morris, but he recovers, gets a hand pass back to McClendon, and McClendon chips short to Ganley. Ganley has a free player wide in McAdam. McAdam takes the mark and strolls off, kicks inside forward 50. The spoil over the top from Moroney was illegal according to umpire Noonan, and Josiah Farah will take that free kick on the outer side of the ground. He'll be kicking from about 40 metres. So there's some work happening in the goal square here. It's going to be a free kick to Southern Districts right in the goal square. And it's going to go to Sexton, I think, Jack Sexton, who...
no, they've brought it
it's
forward.
a 50-metre penalty instead. So Josiah Farah will kick it goal, and it'll be his first for the day. Puts it through.
Takes the margin back to 24 points as we edge over the 8-minute mark of the final quarter here at Cazalys Arena for the round 2 clash, the 2021-22 TIO NTFL Men's Premier League season. And still might be a bit too much. There's probably about 12 minutes left on the clock, 15 minutes left on the clock. Can they do it?
Well, they've given themselves a chance by getting that goal. You know, it's a 4-goal margin, but they're hanging in, so that's something that they'll be pleased about. And now the opportunity we see right in front of us here, Gallo waiting to come back on the ground, so clearly he's not in this ruck contest. It'll be Morrish again, I think, for Districts. Gets up high, but it's Districts that win the clearance.
Oh, and it's on in the goal square. I think there's been a free kick.
Yeah, that's
Ross and Sexton getting involved.
There's plenty of action down there. It's not the type of thing we really want to see.
One of the Stokes boys as well.
Ground in there, plenty of players in. There's turned into a bit of a melee down there, and the whistle went, so it'll be interesting to see what the outcome of this is. So my suspicion is that it'll be a Southern Districts free kick down in there, but something that Buffaloes don't need is to get undisciplined at this stage of the game when they're holding that 4-goal lead.
think it was Mackenzie and Sexton in the middle of it there.
Yeah, Hayden Brown was in amongst it as well for Buffs, but
didn't see what exactly sparked the fire there, but we'll have looks like it'll be a ball up or it'll be a free kick.
So the book's been out. So some work for the judiciary this week, obviously, but it'll be a ball up at the top of the goal square. Farah up high, hooks it down. Ball's held in down there. The crowd's getting into it as well now, as you'd expect. The action right in front of most of the crowd. Farah takes it out of the air, throws it onto his boot, but offline for a behind, and an opportunity for the players to spread and separate and maybe settle things down a bit with the kick in from the behind.
G. Clark talking back to the umpire there.
Just a restart, I think. So it's Bradley Stokes. He'll bring the ball back in, runs out of the square now. He kicks high, looking for his big fella. Archett gets his hands to the ball, but it's forced to the ground. Collinson hooks it around the corner. Matty Campbell again in front. Ball, the bounce evades him. Bowden tidies up at the back, now switches straight across the ground where he's got some free players. Hits Duffy there, McAdam running for him. Duffy's waving further afield and chips the pass to McAdam. He's under a bit of pressure from Jared Stokes, but good enough to take the mark. Chips the ball inboard now and hits up Rowan Bailey there. Bailey goes wide again when perhaps he could have gone straight down the ground, but DeManuel's run onto it, hooks the ball back into the square. All by himself there was Jaden Watts, and he takes the mark 20 metres out directly in front. So I don't know what's if Buffaloes have just lost their cool a bit here and lost a bit of their composure, but Watts was all by himself in the corridor there, and the pass was good from DeManuel. And now Watts an opportunity to close this gap even further. He kicks, the goal umpire doesn't move. It's another goal to Districts, and Will, I think we do have a game on our hands. It's back to 17 points, I think.
You're right, Stu. It's interesting to see how the two teams will react now. Obviously, probably about 90 seconds or 2 minutes ago, we had a bit of a scuffle in the District's goal square, and both teams fully involved. And you know, what are the players thinking of? Are they thinking of the 4 points in the game, or are they thinking of the next scuffle? I think Districts definitely have their eyes on the prize here, and they're gunning for it. Only trail by 17 points, and that's well within their reach as we get close to the 13-minute mark of the third quarter here at Cazalys Arena in Palmerston. Umpire will restart play. Archard and Gallo in the middle. Gallo that time. Sexton runs forward, picks it up, kicks it forward. Couldn't get a mark out of it. Stokes in the back line, sweeping it up. Kicks it across here. Eldridge overcooks it. I think it's Barry gets to it first, but Eldridge runs past him. Comes out a half back. He's streaming away. The foot race is on. He kicks it forward. And the umpire's called run too far. Gee, not sure about that. But we can't dwindle on it for too long. Here in the half back, it's Ben Armat for Southern Districts. Sorry, half forward. Kicks it. Ganley now. Too far out to score, but he goes to the big man. Intercepted. Didn't quite look properly there, and it's the skipper Stokes for Darwin. He now goes out to Sharples. G, play on. Or is it a mark? He's paid a mark. Armat for Districts there. Thought it had touched the ground. But we've got a play on now. Stokes, who's tackled, and that's holding the ball. A great tackle from Armat. Sexton plays on. Don't know if that was necessarily needed. And that's a dangerous tackle on Watts, and we could be on here again. Watts will have the free kick, I would say, after this. Districts are lucky it didn't get away from them there, and they got a unfortunate free kick. Kicks it forward to Tungatalam. He turns around, throws it on the boot, kicks it to Farah in the goal square. And he's just about thread the eye of the needle. Didn't come away with 6 points, but he got a man in the goal square. In fact, he's just out of the goal square. Gee, this will be a tough kick here, but they will need it.
Well, he's a left footer, so it's the right side for him. He's just got to maintain his composure here, not rush things, which he's doing. And now he plays on, kicks the goal, and wow, we have got a contest. I think the Buffalo's senior players really need to get into their teammates' ears and settle things down a bit here. Just, as I said, lost their composure a bit and have allowed Districts a sniff. And once again, Districts have kicked the last 3 goals of the game to get themselves right back into it.
It's an 11-point margin. It's 2 straight kicks, and Farah, not only did he kick that goal, he kicked a handy point a few minutes ago, which means this game is well within their reach as we edge to the 16-minute mark of this final quarter here.
Yeah, we've got a great contest on our hands now, and really interesting to see what pans out from here. The 2 number 1 ruckmen are in the middle of the ground, ready to do battle again. This clearance, ultra important, of course. Archard gets his hand to the ball. Tungatalam coming in off the wing, gets to it, can't take possession, spills to Cossack. He hand passes wide there, and Jackson Clark kicks the ball long inside forward 50 for Buffaloes. The ball spills over the back and trickles out of bounds in the right forward pocket. So Buffaloes have moved the ball forward, got the ball in their forward area, and they'll be looking to either score or just hold the ball up in their forward zone for a while now while they settle the game down. So it's been a pretty gutsy effort by Districts to work their way back into this game. Throw in now, Gallo in there. Cossack gets to his hands on the ball, gets it onto the boot. Abala running onto it, gets tackled with the ball. It spills out in the goal square, picked up down there by Bowden. He plays on and eventually under pressure steps back over the goal line to concede a behind. Plays on quickly, but he's not allowed to. The ball's got to come back. And it's Bowden who will bring the ball back into play for Districts.
Might be another set play here. He's just held the ball aloft. Last time we saw that, they went end to end in about 15 seconds and kicked the goal. Will we see the same again? Kicks out from fullback. Big man Gallo. Oh, Stokes flew, but it was the Crocs who stayed down and made the most of it. Kicks out in front to the lead of Morrish, and he kicks it forward. Taps it back. Watts tackled, hands it over the top, bouncing it in. Don't want to take possession. They're trying to do it creatively. What will the umpire say here? Ball up. They got away with it there, that's for sure.
Yeah, they did, and just trying to pat the ball around when, as you said, could have taken possession and given, but gee, there's some players around the ball now as Buffaloes try to clog this up and stop Districts getting a free shot at goal. Bradley Stokes in there, got his hand to the ball. That's a kick directly sideways over the boundary line, out on the full, and Districts another chance to put the pressure on here. It's Ross who'll take the free kick.
He's kicked 3 goals today already, so he's got his good boots on. But as we know, these pockets are deep, not always easy to jag them. We'll see how he goes.
Getting some attention from the crowd there. Ball across the face of goal. Eldridge bobs up with the ball, ducks under a tackle. Big Archard gets it in the end and hacks the ball out of defence, out towards the boundary line. Matt Duffy calling for deliberate out there. That's the way it's been paid. And Districts will pump it back in again. So we're 19 minutes into this final quarter now. The game really hotting up, and I think that's a 50-metre penalty. Must have been some chat out there, and that'll bring Duffy right up to the goal square.
I was about to say they can't just, they need to start applying some scoreboard pressure here, Crocs. They can't just wheel it forward, and that's what they could be about to do here. Duffy slots it, and it's a 6-point margin.
Wow, that's some fight back. So yeah, Buffs just looking to cool themselves here, but Districts have kicked the last 4 goals of the game, and we've got a real contest on our hand going as we approach time on in this final quarter, a 6-point margin, as Will said, and the running all with Southern Districts really at this stage, and Buffs just need to try and get their hands on the ball and settle things, I would think, but Districts running hot at the moment. The big fellas to do contest again, Gallo and Archer.
It's been a great battle today. Stokes out of the middle. He's been on fire. He could be the spark that the Buffs need to save this game. And Thomas Clark there, another one who's been good today. Buffs edging it forward. Get a handy point, takes it out to a 7-point lead, which means the Crocs really need to get on their bike here. 2 goals you'd think they'd need as we edge to the 21-minute mark of this final quarter here at Cazalys Arena. Gallo couldn't mark it, hands it out. Districts, I think, will still run away with it. Sexton gets it out the back. Ball comes forward to Ross. He marks, plays onto his right foot, kicks it. Jaden Watts couldn't mark it, but here comes DeManuel. Throws it onto the left. Hacks it forward. Districts again doing what they can. Barry taken over. We'll have a throw in.
Yeah,
May have been appealing for a free there, but I don't think there was enough in it.
No, desperate defence, and Barry ducked his head into that tackle, so a fair call, but it's a boundary throw in. It's in Districts forward 50. They really need to score from this stoppage to have any chance from here, I would think. But again, it's force forward and over the boundary line for another throw in. So another opportunity here as the top clock ticks by. We're coming up to 22 minutes in this final quarter. Can't be all that long left, but Districts an opportunity from this stoppage, perhaps. Barry runs onto it across the front of the pack, throws it onto his left boot, but Jared Stokes chops it off, knocked it down and then tidied up. Kicks deep out of defence. Bowles running onto this one through the middle of the ground. Runs down to half forward, tries to chip the ball back into the middle of the ground, but the kick just fell short and stacks on, and we'll have a ball up at centre half forward for Buffalo. So some crucial work there from Jared Stokes in the back half, blocking and then running the ball out of defence, and he's been terrific again for Buffs today. Districts trying to work the ball out off the ground. Matt in there, gets some sort of a hand pass out, but again it's Stokes, he's dispossessed, and play on's the call. Advantage paid, and now the opportunity. Sexton hand passes long over the top to Ganley. Ganley running onto the ball, has a free player in the middle of the ground, switches, finds Dylan Barry, takes the mark, plays on straight away and kicks for goal. He's put it through. It's a point the difference. Must only be seconds to go in the game. The goal is paid. We've got a 1-point ball game here at Cazalys Arena. Well, who would have thought this 20 minutes ago? Will, Districts have really fought their way right back into this game.
Absolutely, they have. That was exactly what they needed there. Quick play, take it on. They took it down the wing here, handball after handball, Sexton to Ganley, and then they found the man on Dylan Barry, and he has played on and kicked a goal, exactly what he needed to do. Can they do it?
1 point the difference. Big Paddy Gallo making his way forward, but Districts need to win the clearance, you would think, to win this game. Archard still in there for Buffs. He's rucked manfully all day, and it's Morrish doing the ruck work for Districts. Oh, brilliantly done there by Archer. Took the ball out of the ruck and then hacked it forward down towards half forward. McAdam takes it off hands. Hand passes forward but misses the target. Collinson in there gets a hand pass across. Matty Campbell has a quick kick down towards the goal square. Chipping across the back was Matt Duffy. He takes the mark in the goal square, chips it out wider to Bowden. The crowd calling for him to get on their bike and get the ball moving forward. The kick goes deep outside on the outer wing now. Jared Stokes runs back onto it, chased by Farrer, evades that tackle. Stokes steadies, drives the ball in forward. The mark couldn't be taken overhead. Hand pass comes back. It's Jared Stokes again. Hand passes forward, misses the target, looking there for Luke Roberts, and it's out of bounds in front of the Cazalys Arena scoreboard on the outer side of the ground. What a finish we've got to this game. And it's in Buffalo's forward half, so Districts with the work to do as they've had most of the afternoon.
You'd think everything has to go their way from here. It can only be seconds left as we tick towards 25 minutes in this last quarter. Play resets. Archard gets it out of the ruck. There's a scrimmage, but Districts come out of it. They're working forward with speed. It's a 3-on-1 contest, I think, there. Again, Districts coming off better. The need to launch it now. Edge forward.
Ogden
kicks it. And he misses.
Missed. Scores a level. Unbelievable. So scores a level with that point from Lionel Ogden. He was all in the clear, had the opportunity, took his time, but just dragged the kick. And now it's Buffaloes who've got it in their defensive goal square, needing to take the ball the length of the field to score to win the game. But there's no pressure on here. Mackenzie runs out of the back line with 2 bounces, chips across to Eldridge. Eldridge looking to play on quickly. He tries to draw the 50-metre penalty now. He plays on with the hand pass. Moroney hand passes forward to Mackenzie. There's no pressure on these Buffaloes players as they go forward. The long kick looking for Ahmet Watkins. Just can't get it on the second attempt, and the siren's gone. And it's a draw. That is an unbelievable result. A draw here at Cazalys Arena. The crowd is silenced. The players don't know how to react. But what a comeback from Southern Districts, kicking the last 5 goals of the game to draw the match. We hope that the scoreboard's correct, of course, don't we, Matt? But I'm sure it is. It looks like the first draw of the season, and yeah, I guess players from both sides thinking what could have been, Will.
Absolutely. I don't think we would have thought this result would have happened. Start of the quarter, I think it got out to a 30-point margin, which is never easy. And as we said, Districts had only kicked 8 at 3-quarter time. They piled on another 5 in that quarter. Looking at their reactions now, Districts definitely think they've salvaged something out of this game. Buffs look defeated, as if they've let one slip. And Districts will still be looking for their first win next week. Buffs will be looking for their second. But as you said, they'll both be wondering what could have been.
So, a fantastic outcome in this game. It looked like Buffs had their measure all day, but they never gave in, Districts, and just kept coming and coming. And as we said, scored the last 5 goals of the game, and have snatched a draw in the end. And probably a fitting result. The goal umpires waved the flags to signal that the scores are correct. So the result is confirmed, and that's it from us here at Cazalys Arena. Hope you've enjoyed the game, enjoyed the coverage, and look forward to calling some more action for you in the weeks to come. So from Will Zwar and myself, Stu Davis, that's a wrap for this game. A fantastic outcome, a draw in the end, and both sides go home not quite satisfied.